Wood to your hood. Public breakdowns are everywhere. But what if we turn gossip into growth? On Allegedly, we react to the wildest viral stories, celebs spiraling, influencers breaking down, and infamous moments you can't unsee. But we don't just watch, we work. We break it down, do the self-work, and find the breakthrough hiding in their mistakes. New episodes drop every Monday on YouTube at My Coach Ministry. Because your healing might just begin with someone else's headline. Allegedly, where the breakdown is the beginning of your breakthrough.
All right. I just want to say thank you so much for staying with me. I'm Coach Raquel. It's now time for our segment, Allegedly. Allegedly. I wish I could sing, but hello. All right. So today, we're going to be talking about. There are a couple of topics we're going to be talking about, as I told you before. But before we get into the topics, I just want to share with you the copyright disclaimer before we get in. And before that, let me just I have to do this reminder. We are not here to criticize negatively. We are not here to belittle, put down, marginalize, ostracize. You know, that's not what we're here for. We're here to learn. We're here to explore people's stories and experiences and to be inspired by it, to do our own self-work so that we can achieve breakthroughs in our lives. That is why we're here, and that is why we do this. Yes, it's about empowerment of self. It's about valuing others. It's about understanding that, and as I'm going to go into these topics, right? You know, there's something, you see, travel is an important thing in life. And not just traveling, but traveling outside of our comfort zone and traveling to places and spaces we've never been. So we can experience and become exposed to cultures we've never seen, we've never experienced before, we never learned about. And travel is also something we can do through books, through videos. We have YouTube channels, we have different podcasters. Let's travel in books and podcasts and videos and documentaries. Let's put those the movies and the comedies on hold for a month and just travel in documentaries for a while. I'm a lover of documentaries. I'm a producer of documentaries. I've won multiple awards for my work on documentaries, and it's one of the most empowering things, especially if you don't have the finances to travel, or you have the finances but you may not have the company, or you don't feel safe, or whatever reasons. There are other ways to learn about other people's culture, because when someone opens their mouths to talk about other people's lives, to me, it tells me everything about their life, whether or not their life is limited or expansive. You know, because when it is people who have limited experiences at life that judge other people's way of living. That's my belief. When you start picking apart, oh my God, you start telling people what they should or shouldn't do, it tells me that you are not very experienced in world. You're not a global citizen. You have not learned other culture. You're only living in your world, and so you believe that your world is it. Your little spot is it. And if they're not living by your little box, in your little spot, then something's wrong with them. Judgment comes from a place of ignorance, in my opinion. It comes from a place of ignorance, because if you are learned and educated and informed, you'll understand and you'll even respect it, that everyone does not see God the way you do. Everyone does not see the world the way you do. Everyone does not live according to your morals. Nobody is here to make you comfortable by living within the context of your morality. You're not a moral elite. You're just another person. It doesn't matter how many persons believe what you believe. Other people outside of that network has the right to believe what they believe, just as you have the right to believe what you believe, right? And that is the reason I believe that we're supposed to have our own little family and our own family systems and networks where we can share our desires and thoughts. Build for you what you desire. But remove yourself out of, do not become a stumbling block. Do not become a stumbling block for others who also want to do what they need to do for their lives based on who they are and based on their comfort zone and their comfort level. So as we go through this, we do not go through with judgment. We go through with curiosity. curiosity, right? And we go through with a genuine desire to learn and to understand and to be open. We don't need to agree. We do not need to agree. We're just here to learn from their experiences and their stories so that we can be inspired to do our self work and experience breakthrough. So, copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. So now let's go to our story. Okay, so the first story we're going to be talking about is DNA testing. Let's pull up the video.
What are your thoughts? Do you think there should be mandatory DNA testing at birth?
Okay, so she has posed the question, should there be DNA testing, mandatory DNA testing at birth? Personally, before I give my personal opinion, I'm going to go and share something with you. But let me say this. Personally, I do think there should be. And for me, should I ever decide one day, should I ever have the fortune to build a family, for absolute certainty, DNA testing is a must for me and my family. I'm not saying it should be for you and your family, but it definitely would have to be for me and my family, because number one, for me, I need to know this is my child I'm going home with. You can't tell me that is my child. I do not know. Yes, I lied there and I, gave birth, but I don't know which child you picked up and put in my arms, and I will not rest on my instinct, my mind, or whatever. That's not enough for me to rest on personally. I need testing because I love the series Switched at Birth. Love it. And I've seen documentaries where that has happened. That has happened, right? Now, I want confidence. I want security in my baby. I would want to know for sure this is my child. I want to take that extra step to know and to confirm this is my child. And also for me, I need to give my husband, my partner, that confidence as well. Because he didn't get to bring the baby in his body. He didn't get to feel the movements and whatever the case may be. So I think the least I can do for him is to let him know, is to give him proof that this is your child, especially if I'm going to be asking him for time and money, for his time and money, for him to invest time and money. And even if I'm having my child adopted by a stepfather, or God forbid, that's not something I would do. Personally, I feel if I'm a single mom, well, I will not be a single mom. That's number one. I will not be a single mom. But if I were married and I had a child, or I was in a co-parenting situation and something happened with that partner, I would not take on a single father with my child. It's just not something I would do. That's for me personally, right? But I believe that, yes, a DNA test should be more of a priority than a birth certificate. That's just how I feel. I need to know this is my baby. I need to be clear. I don't want to find out later. I need to know now that I'm going home with my baby. So DNA testing benefits for me. So here are some of the benefits that I want to share with you. So DNA testing. So here are 5 benefits of DNA testing. Number 1, it preventing paternity fraud. And that just means that it reduces unknown misassigned parentage at birth. Number 2, financial fairness. It ensures correct parent bears child support responsibilities. Number 3, genetic health clarity enables accurate hereditary risk assessment. I think that is so important. And then you have child identity rights. It upholds a child's right to know biological origins. And then we have the number 5, social justice. It protects vulnerable low-income individuals from exploitation. Well, it protects everybody from exploitation. So those are the ones. And I think they're very, very important. And I just want to elaborate a little bit more on the supports. It supports equitable social policy and justice. That's number 5. A recent policy review advocates that compulsory DNA testing could uphold justice in low-income settings by reducing exploitation and financial deception. It frames mandatory testing through lenses of Rawls' theory of justice and biological systems theory. To balance public benefit with individual rights, particularly where misattributed paternity is prevalent. And that's from the New Yorker research. I know recently in our news, based on what I saw on a lot of spaces online, including credible news outlets like the Gleaner. Was it the Gleaner? Well, credible news outlets. I'm not sure which of them, but where they were saying, according to the research, that Jamaica might be one of the top countries that misassign fathers to children. What they call it, the jacket culture. I don't like that word, but yeah, where the wrong fathers are given the wrong child. I don't think that should happen, but I say it's I cannot understand a man who does not ensure a paternity test. Where's the leadership there? Yeah. But I definitely, as a man, would not accept a child without a paternity test. That's just how I feel about it. Okay, so this is what we have to consider this though, but it's not all upside, right? There's a downside to making something like this mandatory, right? Mandatory testing also raises serious ethical concerns, including violation of reproductive and sexual privacy, disproportionately affecting mothers by interrogating their conduct without equivalent scrutiny of fathers, privacy, consent, and data security risks stemming from genetic data collection and storage without meaningful safeguards. And then finally, psychological harm, emotional family strife, disruption, or violence triggered by early paternity revelation in contexts of low conflict resolution capacity. So those are some things to think about. Now, while evidence supports clear benefits, especially in mitigating fraud, financial injustice, and health risks, mandatory DNA paternity testing raises major ethical and privacy challenges. Health policy frameworks would need stringent safeguards, informed consent protocols, even for required testing, privacy protections, trauma-informed counseling, and transparent data governance. Before proposing mandatory policy, stakeholders must weigh these benefits against potential harms to autonomy, family stability, and genetic privacy. And here it says how DNA helps with economy. It confirms legal responsibility, avoids fraud, unlocks benefits. I think that is essential. I think that's above everything. And legacy. Ooh, this one. Well, I just said economy was above everything. Well, these 3 things that I'm listing here, I think these are above everything. So you have economy, of course, like I said before, confirms legal responsibility, avoids fraud, unlocks benefit. I think that step is number 1. You have to, before you start requiring of people, they need evidence that they have obligation. That's just how I feel about it. And then you have legacy, clarifies succession, strengthens multi-generational planning, right? I know right now Jay-Z is who's been in the media with regards to an alleged son who is based on my understanding, taking him to court because the child requires a DNA test to confirm he's the father or not. Like, I think on both sides, I think the child should have, man, imagine being a child in this world and you can't, and you don't even have evidence that who they say you are is who you are. That's something. That's something. Ancestry reconnects lost heritage, improves health literacy, fosters belonging. That is something I suffer from. And it's why I will be doing, I started it with Ancestry.com, but it didn't work out for me. I didn't get the data, so I didn't get the test, so I had to cancel it. But I am now looking into another service because for me personally, I need to know my belonging. Where did I come from? Who am I? I need to know. I need to know. So, that is something that is very important to me. So here's a spoken word feature that I'd like to share with you on the topic. Whew. The test that breaks chains or breaks homes. Allegedly, DNA testing is just science. A simple swab of the cheek, a data point in a petri dish, a match, a mismatch, a paternity myth exposed. But when the results drop, the truth don't just echo in the lab. It shakes kitchens, courtrooms, cribs, and trust. Let's talk about it. DNA was supposed to set us free, unchain the lies, confirm the bloodline, bring peace to the child, clarity to the father, closure to the mother. But here's the twist. When weaponized, DNA becomes less than truth and more about power. Start with the mother. A woman's womb becomes the court. Start with the mother. A woman's womb becomes the courtroom. Her integrity put on trial, not in a court of law, but in the court of assumption. A man says, I want a test. And whether he's right or wrong, the damage is done. She's marked as deceitful, even when she's not, even when the test proves him wrong. Trust doesn't heal just because the results were clean. Then there's the father. He might raise a child with pride for years, only to find out the DNA don't match. He's crushed, not because the child changed, but because his reality did. And worse still, the law might say, too late. You signed the birth certificate. You're still responsible, even if biology says otherwise. That ain't justice, that's heartbreak wrapped in legal ink. And the child, the child is the real casualty in all this. 1 minute, daddy's home. The next minute, he's a stranger. One test can delete bedtime stories, nicknames, traditions, love. Children aren't swabs, they're souls. So yes, DNA can help. Track inherited disease, unlock social benefits, connect ancestral roots, prevent fraud, protect legacy. But, and it's a big but, only when done ethically, with consent, with care, with counseling. Otherwise, it's just surveillance with a smile. It's a scalpel dressed as science. It's generational trauma with a barcode. So what's the truth? DNA is neither savior nor villain. It's a tool. And like all tools, it depends on who's holding it, what they're building, or what they're breaking. Allegedly, some folks are more invested in the truth than in what the truth might cost. But if we're gonna test, let's also test for honor, compassion, responsibility, because biology, that's just the start. Real family is in the follow through. Wow. If this stirred something in you, share this segment with someone who needs to hear it and tell us, is DNA testing a tool for healing or harm? What are your thoughts? Tell me in the comments below. DNA testing isn't just about identifying a father. It's about fortifying the foundation of the family tree. When used ethically, it becomes a tool for justice, health, financial security, and ancestral pride. So that is my answer to her question. You know, there was recently a case I saw on Judge Judy where this guy took a young lady to court because for a certain period of time in the child's life, he had invested time and money, and then he found out the child wasn't his, and he took her to court and won. And she had to pay him, I think it was $5,000 or something like that. She had to pay him. So, and also there is inheritance, you know what I mean? I'm just going to leave it there. I just think it's really, really important. And certainly for me, because of my approach to family, DNA testing for all my children would be an essential, not just for the father, but also for me, the mother. That's just how I see it. So now let's go to our next story. All right, so B. Simone.
Everybody relax. You got me on camera.
Oh, that's you famous. I know. Wait, what she do though? I don't know.
Bro,
you
don't know who that is?
Nah, who should she do?
I don't do nothing but spread the gospel.
Okay, that's what I like to hear. Jesus is king, goddammit. Jesus is king.
Act like you fell off. I'm not acting, nigga. Don't never fell off. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, you the big one, not the little one. The big one, not the little one. Yeah. Who is that?
Simone. She famous.
Oh, that's B. Simone?
Yeah.
What the fuck? Bro, shut the nigga, I don't be on my phone like that, nigga. I be to this money, nigga. I don't know who the fuck that is, nigga. Nigga, now that y'all said it, see me on the same room all the time, nigga. I know now. On bro, writing books and shit, nigga.
He capped out.
I ain't know who the fuck that was.
Wow. Have you ever had the experience as a female driver and you're driving by yourself and having men follow you, like trailing you, and they trail you all the way to your car? I've had it happen to me, and it has shaken me many times. Like, and sometimes it's like, my experience is that sometimes I have to be so, whenever a guy, like, what do you call that? Catcalling? When they catcall you, or when they're showing interest? I suppose it should be a sexy experience, a nice feeling like, I'm attractive, so I'm attractive to him, he's attracted to me. Oh yeah, and there are cases where men do or say things that I feel that way. Like, for example, I remember I was on a podcast once, and I was just commenting. I wasn't on there in person. And I remember one of the guests on the podcast, he said, that girl, and he never said that girl. He said that person, and he said the name of my profile. And he said, that person, I'm attracted to her thoughts. I love the thoughts she's sharing. And it felt so sexy to me. I really, really like it. Now, having men catcall me in person is a frightening experience for me. And I'll tell you why. Because sometimes I know I can't be my truest self. I can't just respond how I feel to respond. Two, I have to think about my safety and how he might receive my response. So I'm being extra nice, you know. And four, I don't know where it's going to go. And so I've had the case where at night, where I'm living somewhere and where the parking lot is not as well lit as the rest of the store or the place. I had it happen to me once at a movie theater, and as the farther you go away from the theater, from where the movie theater is, the darker it got. So, and as I was going to my car, this person was talking and following me, and I was so scared to the point where I decided, okay, stop and talk to him and see if we can end this conversation before I get to the actual car, so he doesn't have to know which car I drive or whatever. But that did not work. The conversation was just going on and on and on. And then I had to say, I really have to go. I wish you will. And I'm telling you, that man kept walking behind me. And I'm telling you, the thought, I was terrified. I was terrified to the point where I went into the car. I was so happy when I got in and locked all the doors. And even then I felt uncomfortable because he saw my license plate, and so I have to be this extra nice, like I don't want to upset him. I don't want to say the wrong thing. And believe you me, I may think I'm being nice. He may not think I'm being nice. You know what I mean? So it's frightening. So what they did to B. Simone there, that's not cool, and that's not okay. It's not okay. But I just want to share this. It was not okay. It's not acceptable, and we need to teach our young men and train them. And the young men need mentors. Where are our male leaders to mentor these men? This is not okay. It's not okay. And then you take her straight to her car. Not okay. And it's not okay to start filming someone without their permission. It's just not okay. She was by herself, walking by herself. Right? Look at that. And they're filming. They're even filming her license plate. They're filming her car. They're filming her. That's not cool. That's not okay. That's terrifying. That's not good. And it's a group of them. You could say it's a gang. I'm not saying it is. I'm just saying she could be thinking of it that way. I'd be thinking of it that way. I'd be terrified. I've never had a group of them come behind me before. I've only had like single men, like a single person coming at me, and I'm terrified, let alone having a group, multiple persons. Crazy stuff. This is not cool. This is not okay. I'm terrified for her. That's not okay. So who is B. Simone? B. Simone is a comedian, an entrepreneur, and unapologetic queen of manifestation. From viral skits on Instagram to becoming a fan favorite on MTV's Wild and Out, B. Simone turned laughs into legacy. She's the founder of B. Simone Beauty, best-selling author of Baby Girl, Manifest the Life You Want, and co-host of the Know For Sure podcast. With bold energy, faith-filled ambition, and a fearless voice, she built her brand from the ground up, proving that vision, consistency, and a whole lot of confidence do pay off. Allegedly, she's walking out of Target, enjoying a regular day. Then comes the group, a cluster of male bloggers. Cameras rolling, swagger clipped. They spot her and follow to the car, acting like they own the street. No invites, no boundary, just entitlement in motion. What happened next? And there I show you in the video clip what happened exactly. They followed her all the way to the car. That's just harassment. So this video clip surfaced I found it on TikTok, right? Where a group of male streamers spot B. Simone at Target and follow her to the car acting like weirdos. Less than 8 hours old, with 7.6 thousand views at the time of writing this, showing the moment unfold in real time. And I just showed it to you, right? That's not just harassment. It's a violation masked as content. It's a violation masked as content creation. Why does this matter? Fame is not consent. Fame is not consent. If you see me anywhere, do not say hello unless I invite you. Talk to me on my timeline. That's the only place I've given you permission. Because you don't know what mindset I'm going to be in, and I won't know what mindset you're in. Or at least ask, you know what I mean? There she was pointing to them, and I think she actually said in the beginning, like, you're filming me, I didn't ask. Anyway, fame is not consent. Being public doesn't mean disposable. She's not a noun in your viewfinder. She's a human with a right to peace. And I'll add privacy, but privacy is coming next. Number 2, privacy isn't optional. Even in public. What if that was your mother, your daughter, your sister, someone you really, really love, your wife? How would you feel about that? Anyway, even in public, people deserve sovereignty as they move through space. What her car looked like inside, what prayers she sighed in her seat, not your business. Number 3, gendered aggression unapologetically. Do you think male bloggers, male content creators would follow a male influencer to their car? Nah. Yet somehow, when the famous black woman moves, it becomes content. You should have seen some feedback online. Crazy stuff. I have not yet come across a male person who said that was not okay. Maybe I'm just on the wrong timeline. I don't know. Number 4, mental load of the puzzle gaze. Public figures carry emotional toll, surveillance anxiety, second guessing, even safety fears. Even when nothing touches her, the fear already touched her. Number 5, we normalize disrespect because this was disrespectful. Listen to how they carried on. When viral videos of this behavior get reposted, shared, memed, it reinforces that privacy is up for debate and women's comfort is collateral. So what's the takeaway? Fame doesn't forfeit dignity. Fame does not forfeit dignity. Attention doesn't grant permission. And the road from a story in your feed to trauma in her mind is shorter than we think. Allegedly, B. Simone didn't owe them a shot, a laugh, or a presence. They owed her respect. Let's unpack this further. Is being seen the same as being safe? Can viewers demand access under the guise of authenticity? And that is it for that story for tonight. And now we're going to go on to our final story in our allegedly segment for today. Okay, so this next story I'm going to be talking about really come under the headline of Desire in a Crime, the double standard of women who want sex. And this story is the reason I want to talk about this story and the reason it touched me is because as I listen to the conversation around the Sean Combs case, and as I listen to people talk about Cassie, it really, some parts of it makes me sad, some part irks me, some part is unbelievable. I'm just like, guys, stop infantilizing this woman. She's an adult. She's a woman. She can make a choice, and that does not make her a bad person. That does not make her a bad person. That does not make her anything. That does not mean she ought not to be respected. And stop behaving as though the man is the only one who had power in that relationship or had any rights. And then I don't understand women, right, who infantilize women and then turn around and say women should be empowered. They should be empowered in their choices too. Cassie made choices. Can we respect this woman's choices? She made choices. Okay, and then the other part of it that really, really gets me, like I'm sitting questioning myself, like, what is this? Is when they keep saying she's a co-conspirator. She's a co-conspirator. First of all, let me be clear. This is how I feel about the Sean Combs trial, okay? This man should not have been found guilty on any of the charges. That's number one. Number two, what do you mean she's a co-conspirator? Because she chose to have sexual experiences with her boyfriend, and they chose to include persons who they paid to achieve certain sexual targets for her. She's she is a co-conspirator in her bedroom. She is a co-conspirator in her bedroom. They're co-conspirators in the bed that they chose to have sex in. Make that make sense, people. What does this mean for the rest of us? We already have no privacy in our homes. We have no privacy. And you mean to tell me that even the way I use my vagina, I no longer have privacy for that? I no longer have industry over that? Unless there is a crime that is so evident, there should be blood, there should be abuse to the extent that it cannot be ignored for my vagina to come up to have any crime scene tape around it. People, we've gone too far. Haven't we? Have we not gone too far? She's a co-conspirator. In what? For what? They didn't steal, they didn't kill, they didn't lie, a co-conspirator for sexual activities with the man she was with in a relationship for over 10 years with people and these escorts that she had This was a relationship, because it was just a compensated relationship, because one of the person they were in that sexual agreement for 8 years. Come on, people. Come on. There should be respect for these people's rights. She's a co-conspirator. Of what? Anyway, I'm going to play some clips and these clips that I'm playing, they are unrelated to the Diddy case, not affiliated with Cassie at all. However, I'm sharing these clips because I just want to showcase that there are women who choose multiple sex partners, who choose the swinger lifestyle. They're women who choose to enjoy their sexuality. I want to say this, and I think I owe my friend. There's a young lady who I was close to at some point, and I used to be very overprotective of her, and I used to feel that she's addicted to sex. I used to feel that she's addicted to sex. Sometimes we'll be sitting down talking, and she'll leave, and then when she come back, she's like, I had to go masturbate. Like, I just really had to, and come back, and I'd be just like, that's too much information. But girl, we weren't even talking about sex or anything to be with. Well, how did you, and that's how I used to think, like, how did that come to your mind? Because I'm not even thinking about that, right? And I remember I even set her up to talk with a counselor or whatever, because I thought, girl, you're addicted to sex, because she used to constantly tell me about her sexual experiences, and it even affected me because it made me feel like I really actually thought that my limited experience would make me unattractive to men, right? And anyway, I want to apologize to her because nothing was wrong with her. She was just enjoying her life and her sexuality. And had it not been for religion, I probably would have enjoyed mine, because I haven't. I wish I felt free to just have sex, but my mentality is already messed up. So for me, it's very, very difficult, right? But we need to let people live. Please, let people live. Now I want to play this clip first, and then I'm going to play the one that's on the screen. It's just crazy when I hear that they say Cassie was a co-conspirator. Co-conspirator of what exactly? Of choosing the sex life she wanted? What do you mean? All right, let's go. So this is a clip from a young lady. She's saying what no one else will, and she's on TikTok. So this is a credit to TikTok.
I was like, I want to have a train wreck. That's my fantasy. A lot of women.
So what she said was, I want to have a train ran on me. That's my fantasy.
I was like, I want to have a train wreck. That's my fantasy. A lot of women want that. They just won't say it. Then in the comments, all these women were like, every woman doesn't want this. Like, don't believe her, all this stuff. I'm like, I never said every woman wants this. I said, a lot of women want this. And men were actually in the comments like, no, she's right. Like, I've dated a lot of women, and they all say, like, this is one of their fantasies.
And you know what's weird though? Because it's like, because I feel you, right? Because you're like, oh, I said this, and like people are in the comments are crazy, but there's like millions and millions and millions and millions of people who subscribe to OnlyFans. There are millions and millions and all types of shit. Yeah, they're like porn. So it's like, why are you acting like what I said? It was just so outlandish.
Why are you watching?
You'll watch
and
it.
it's like, hey, have you ever been to like a sex club?
Yeah.
Okay. So people that go to sex clubs, they're either like rich CEOs, or they have like couple jobs, business owners, whatever the case may be. And then they step out of the sex club and they step back into their role of like teacher, principal, whatever the fuck they do. Everybody is pretending. When they get home and they're in the privacy of their own home, whatever they're doing with whoever they're doing it with, they step out of their home, they're pretending again. The only difference with me is I'm not pretending. This, what you see is what you get. Like, I'm not pretending to be a school teacher, pre-K teacher by day, fucking porn star by night. Like, this is it. This is it.
Yeah.
And so I think that a lot of people are just pretending.
Yeah.
And they're in the comments like, I would never do this. And it's like,
Okay. And I'm going to play another clip, and then I'm going to share something with you. I just want to say this before I play that clip. You know, ever since the whole Cassie thing, and as I listen, and because to be honest, for me, I've struggled with my sexuality for various reasons, right? Because I've witnessed domestic violence. Like I said, I've had a friend who I felt like she was addicted to sex. Honestly, God, I couldn't understand. Like, I would literally go to places and take her out, like, get out, we're going, let's go. How did you end up over here? How did you know somebody was over here? You know, whatever. And I think I was being disrespectful to her because she was an adult. She has a right to be with who she wants to be with. All I needed to say to her was I didn't want to hear it, but I didn't know at the time. And I genuinely felt like she was addicted to it, you know, so, and stuff like that. And I apologize for that because you had the right to do what you did. For me, I've always just wanted to let myself go, but I never felt like I could do so safely. I never felt like I could do so safely because I also had to think, first of all, I've never been married. And I thought if I could just get married, then maybe I could do that. I could have my mind would have the relaxation to do it, because it's not that anyone is stopping me. My mind and who I am and the principles and the religion in me, it really impacted me. I can't do it. I just can't do it. And I will start engaging with someone, and after a while I know it's just going to cut. Like, it's like something me just cut, just like that. I'm done. I'm over it. I don't want to do this kind of thing. Yeah. So I can start out great, you know, being romantic with someone, and it just goes like that. That thing touches me and it's like, boom, I'm out. Right. And I've always wanted to just if I could just let it all go, be a whole animal at it, you know. It really is something I'd like to do, but the older I get, the worse it gets for me, because I'm like, well, who can I trust to be my complete self with? And ever since the Cassie thing, to be honest with you, I've genuinely been thinking, how come I never thought about it? You pay someone for everything else. Maybe that's an area you should just hire someone to do. And I really do think in myself that if I paid someone to do it, I'd feel safe doing it because I'm in control of what's happening to me. I paid for it. So I'm not going to wake up expecting that person to love me after, to stay with me, to want me, to desire me, to take care of me, to treat me like I'm somebody. You know what I mean? Because I think one of the worst feelings in the world is, for me anyway, is after having sex with someone and it's just so underwhelming the way they treat you or the way they relate to you. You just feel like you're a plastic bag. Please do not think. I don't want you to leave here thinking the men I've known are bad. I've only met lovely men. I really, really, genuinely, honest to God, have only met genuine, really good men, honorable men. Like I said, I'm trying to say, all of what I'm going through is all locked up in my head. It's inside my head. And that's why for me, I feel advocacy for women's freedom, because we talk about those who may have multiple partners. What about those who don't have any partners? Is that okay? And when I say partners, I don't mean a relationship. I mean people like me who I have too much negativity around sexual experiences, around sex, to the point where I've been celibate most of my life. It's more fear than anything. It's not choice. It's not because I haven't met anybody. It's not because I don't know anybody. That's not it. And then sometimes for me, when I do meet somebody who I would do, like, I feel like, yeah, this person I could, and then it doesn't work out, because again, at the end of the day, the marriage thing is in my head, the relationship thing is in my head. It's so much going on in my head. Let people be. I'm very happy for the women who are able to do it and still wake up and feel good about themselves and not have to go into depression. Let people be, man. Now I'm gonna play this clip just for us to listen to.
I'm Lily Follett, and today I'm getting run through by 100 guys.
Your moneymaker is OnlyFans.
I started an OnlyFans.
$1 million in a day.
£42,000 in one night.
I'm gonna go get some oysters and champagne.
You have your little ones?
They could cry in a Ferrari.
I'll show you my first month $13,338. Have I chose the wrong career? But like, I just totally love my job.
I'm filming a video with a girl who's going to be sleeping with 100 guys in one day, and she is picking out her outfit for that day.
Oh, how interesting.
Yeah.
Does she find them on the internet?
Okay, hang on there, right? Let's take a pin right there. Do you notice what she just said? It's an economic, it's a legitimate and it's a legitimate and effective economic stream, right? She is saying that she showed you how much she earned for her first month, and you heard other persons say how much they've earned, right? So if this can, and in my opinion, in the case of Cassie, it afforded her relationship with Sean Combs, afforded her the lifestyle she wanted, and including the sexual experiences she chose to engage in, right? But listen to this. We can't pretend like this isn't a real thing. And like the lady said earlier, you know, the young lady who said she wants a train run on her, just like this young lady said she wanted 100 men to run a train on her, to what, run through her or something like that. I wouldn't. That's how she terms it, right? To have sex with her. That's their choice. There are women who feel that way because there's a porn industry, right? There's OnlyFans, right? So clearly, why are we behaving as though it is so unusual that it's impossible that Cassie could have chosen this? And look, these are young people.
And then the whole 100 of them get
Listen to this.
to the one at a time on the 19th of October in London.
Oh, and it's on television.
It's going to be on her OnlyFans.
Oh, I see. Okay. She's got to have an early night tonight.
Yes, she does. A lot of electrolytes, a lot of sustenance, a lot of fiber.
Okay, lovely.
Okay. Have a great night. Lovely to meet you.
I get like serotonin, like from
those elderly women, those older women. Do you see how casual they were about it? Casual about it. So she's going to get some rest then, right? You know? So it's not just young people. Because, you know, some people like, oh, these millennials, these are young people. It's not just them. Listen to how these people these older women did not raise an eyebrow, okay? They were like, for the thing. They're just like, you know, they didn't say, yes, I'm with it, but they didn't have to. You know what I mean? I know I couldn't do what she's about to do because I am too broken sexually to do that, right? So I know I couldn't do it, but there's a part of me that wish I could. Yeah.
When people are like, oh my God, you're that on the internet. Sounds crazy.
I know, and I know you're saying that to me right here, but I don't believe that.
Really?
No.
I kind of love like ruffling feathers a little bit and people getting a bit like agitated by maybe the fact that I must people think I'm like so sad and stuff like that, but that could not be like further from the truth. I don't think people realise like how happy this makes me.
Last week I did 101 guys. Now this was just the warm-up because in February I'm going to be the first person ever to reach 4 digits of guys all in one day. Yes, 1,000 guys.
All right. So she did the 100 and now she wants to do the 1,000. Kudos to her. I am not living in her body. I'm not living in her life. That's her life choices. And if this brings her joy and peace, that's her. That's on her. I mean, how often do I use my arms? I wish I grew up in an environment where sex was not so demonized and weaponized. I wish it was treated like my arms and legs. I still would have been a principled person. I still would have, you know, but I feel like I've been broken in that era of my life because of the frightening lessons and the guilt and fear around it, you know, and the control. Let people be. You know, I just want to share this. Desire isn't a crime. The double standard of women who want sex. I want sex. I just don't want any old sex. And I don't want any sex that's going to leave me feeling badly about myself. That's the only reason I'm celibate. I'm not celibate because I'm holy or I'm Christian or no. The only reason I'm celibate is because the next time I have a sexual experience, I want to wake up. I want it to end, and it's not an aftermath, but it's an afterglow. Yeah. Allegedly, when a woman chooses sex on her own terms, with her own body, her own timing, her own rhythm, she ain't liberated. She's labeled whore, slut, harlot, industrial pass around. Yet the men she slept with, kings, ballers, untouchable, ick. Let's talk about it. In the recent federal case involving Diddy and Cassie, the headlines shouted allegations, the internet whispered judgments, and even as some escorts confirmed Cassie initiated sexual encounters, somehow Diddy took all the blame and Cassie took all the shame. Because when a woman says yes, not because she was coerced, but because she was curious, because she wanted pleasure, because she liked it, suddenly that yes becomes a scarlet letter. If I recall, at one point when they asked Cassie something about the past or whatever, she said she enjoyed what they had. Anyway, because when a woman says yes, not because she was coerced, but because she was curious, because she wanted pleasure, because she liked it, suddenly that yes becomes a scarlet letter. But here's the gag. Men clearly prefer women with experience, believe you me. They do. From my experience listening to men clearly prefer women with experience. They just don't want to marry truth. Boom. Let me play. Oh, sorry, I just played it. That clip that I just played, right? The voice of the young lady saying she fantasized about a train being run on her, and then the voice of the OnlyFans woman setting a goal of 100 men, and then she completed that and wanted to go on to the 1,000. Right now, pause. Are you uncomfortable because she's bold, or because she's honest? Because these women aren't new. They're just unashamed. Let's get something straight. A woman's sexual appetite does not negate her worth. She can want orgasms. She can fantasize. She can have multiple partners. She can initiate, lead, invite, and explore without being reduced. Because last I checked, consensual sex isn't a crime. A healthy sexual appetite has benefits. It boosts self-esteem, enhances emotional regulation, strengthens immunity and reduces stress, improves intimacy and communication skills, connects a woman to her body, power, and joy. So why do men glorify conquest but vilify consent? Why are women groomed young, then discarded when they get wise? And the real question is this: why do men sleep with the slut, then marry the virgin? The slut? Why do men sleep with the slut, then marry the virgin, and cheat with the freak while resenting all three? God, I have to read that again. Why do men sleep with the slut, then marry the virgin, and cheat with the freak while resenting all three? Allegedly, the problem isn't Cassie's choices. The problem is a culture that refuses to believe a woman can choose for herself. She can want pleasure. She can want multiple partners. She can even want wild fantasies without your commentary. Let's leave respectability at the door. If men can want it, women can too. So head to mycoachministry.com/podcast and tell me, do we really want women to be free or just quiet? Sex is not sin. Hashtag sex is not a sin. You were born for bold moves. Now go turn pressure into purpose and tell them Coach Raquel sent you. Wow, I just want to say, like, listen, all I'm saying here is, and all I'm advocating for is, people have the right, the God-given right to choose how they spend their lives, their time, and what they do with this body they've been given. You don't have to agree with them, but let's not disrespect them. And you know what? There is a conversation to be had around truth, because we don't like truth. Because the truth of the matter is things are happening and we're not losing our minds. But as soon as someone speaks the truth, so it's that we're comfortable once it's hidden. We don't want to know. Keep it under the quiet. Do not bring truth to me because it makes me uncomfortable. They say truth hurts. Where? Why? How? The only time truth hurts is to a liar. If you're a truth speaker, then truth shouldn't hurt you. If you're someone living in truth, then truth will not hurt you. Truth only hurts liars. Let's move on to the next segment. Thank you so much for staying with me this far into the program.
Wood to your hood. Public breakdowns are everywhere. But what if we turn gossip into growth? On Allegedly, we react to the wildest viral stories, celebs spiraling, influencers breaking down, and infamous moments you can't unsee. But we don't just watch, we work. We break it down, do the self-work, and find the breakthrough hiding in their mistakes. New episodes drop every Monday on YouTube at My Coach Ministry, because your healing might just begin with someone else's headline. Allegedly, where the breakdown is the beginning of your breakthrough.
All right. Welcome. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much for staying with us. Thank you for watching, liking, subscribing, sharing, and supporting this program. Thank you so much. And welcome back to our Allegedly segment. Oh my Lord, I'm Coach Raquel. And today, of course, we have some interesting topic, but I just want to do these reminders before we go into the topic that we respect, we love, and we appreciate and value every single person who's going to be mentioned in this segment, okay? We have nothing but appreciation and value and respect for all the people we're going to be mentioning and for their particular role. We're not here to tell anyone not to do what they are inclined to do, what to do, not to do. We're not here to tell them not to follow their instinct or whatever guide their divine purpose bestow on them or inspire them, whatever path their source inspires them to follow, right? We're just going to be sharing our thoughts. We're going to be searching for, exploring the topic, talking about it, and sharing our own thoughts, our own views, and looking for the breakdown and see what in their conversations and stories can inspire us to do our self-work so that we can experience breakthroughs. Okay, that is what we're here for. That's what we're about. That's why we're here. We don't talk about stories just to talk about them. We talk about them for empowerment so that we can extract empowerment from every story, every experience, every discussion, every thought that are shared or whatever, right? So that's what we're going to be going in to do today. So I just want you to come with me with open minds and open hearts, and please share with me in the comment section what your thoughts are on these topics that we're going to be discussing. Today we're going to be talking about Sean Combs, and because he's someone who has sat on my heart for over a year, if not over 2 years though, ever since what happened to him. From the moment that the raid happened on his house, he has sat on my heart, and I've had to include him in my prayers, my thoughts, my well wishes. Like this man, and it's funny because I never he was not an artist that I listened to. I didn't even know that I knew songs of his. Everything started happening, I'm like, Sean Combs, why is he on my mind? And I had to go look for songs he sings, for his songs, to see if I knew any of it or whatever, because hip hop is not one of my favorite genre to listen to. If I'm listening to hip hop, it must be that I'm either working out or something, or someone else is playing it, or I just need that particular vibe. That's not necessarily my thing. I'm more of a country girl. I love country music and reggae music, you know what I mean? So yeah, but he has rested on my heart, and today I'm going to talk about him again. And I have some other things that I want to talk about that will offspring from that discussion. So that's what we're going to be going into today. So as we go in, I just ask that we bear that in mind. Let's be respectful. Let's remember that whatever our thoughts are things, and whatever we think of others is already in our lives. Whatever we speak of others is already done in our lives. So let us just be mindful with those things, because we're sending positive energy. So today we're going to be talking about Charlemagne, positive energy, Sean Combs, the entire Breakfast Club team. You have Jess Hilarious, you have Lauren, and you have DJ Envy. And I just want to say positive energy to those persons. I found this new YouTuber that I've been listening to, and I'm very impressed. Like he's very inspiring. You should listen to him. Conversation with Jay, KHAN. Conversations with Jay. He's one of the positive voices amid the noise, you know. And so I have a clip from him that I'm going to be playing to, and I just want to say to them before I go into it, thank you so much for your experience, your work, your breakdowns, your breakthroughs that inspire us to do our self-work to achieve breakthroughs. I just want to say thank you to you. We appreciate you. We value you. And no matter what direction or thoughts or opinions or perspectives go, we do this out of nothing but respect for you and gratitude. So thank you for living the breakdowns so that we could be inspired to do our self-work and achieve breakthroughs inspired by your story. So I just want to say thank you so much. So before I go into the story, I just want to share the copyright disclaimer. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. And today, I'm not seeking to infringe on anyone's content. However, as a complement to the content creator, we're going to be commenting, and I don't know if you want to call it criticizing. I don't like that word, criticize. But definitely using it for news reporting and teaching and research. All right, so we're going to do that. Before I go into the Sean Combs story, there's one I want to share first. So they say perfection is the goal, but here's the thing. Perfection isn't just a goal, it's a ghost. It slips through your fingers, whispers you're never enough, and leaves you chasing shadows while life races by. Now, on the screen, you'll be seeing a photo. One day, day one. I came across this photo on Facebook, and it kind of stirred something in me. You know, I don't think that the person who shared the image was necessarily thinking of a negative thing, you know, and again, having aspirations isn't a bad thing, right? But this picture, as you can see, and for those who can't see, a barefoot black child, I think it's a boy, clothed in tatters, staring in a mirror. In the reflection, a well-dressed boy, quote-unquote well-dressed, because who determines what well-dressed is, but a boy in a suit and tie. Yes, suit and tie. A well-dressed boy in a suit holding a book. The caption reads, "One day and day one." Motivational, do you think? On the surface, maybe. But let's peel it back. Let's peel it back a little bit first. This and I'm just sharing with you my perspective and how I see this. Of course, I did some research to go along with, not just to go along with my thoughts, but also to see what's out there, right? Okay, so first, this is the contrast trap. And this is something I always say, never compare. Never compare. I think comparison is a trap that we fall into, and if we're not careful, we will have calamity, right? Because no two persons are the same. And I believe the universe made that intentional, that no two people would be the same. All right. But anyway, let me just go to this. First, this is the contrast trap. Research says when we compare ourselves to idealized images, our self-worth doesn't rise, it collapses. Because even just now, right, when I said there are two images, and one is he's in tatters and one is he's in a suit. And I think for most persons, especially those in the Western world or those who have been quote unquote educated, we are thinking, we have thoughts around that which one is considered the well-dressed and which one is considered the tattered, right? But who determines, who says these two are not two well-dressed people at different stages in life, right? Anyway, I will never understand a dress code being a goal when we were born naked. Anyway, so our self-worth doesn't rise, it collapses according to research. Second, it's stereotype threat in a frame. Pairing blackness with poverty and success with whiteness coded dress primes the message. You don't belong until you transform. Third, it's poverty myth recycling. Mass media already overrepresent Black Americans as poor at twice the real rate. Images like this keep that loop running, and it's not just for Black Americans, but it's also for Black people around the world. Because I'm in Jamaica, and I'm telling you, Jamaica, it's like a little USA. We're so heavily influenced by what they do. Fourth, it dehumanizes. Depicting children voiceless and pitied literally lowers empathy responses in the brain. Fifth, it teaches classism early. Studies show even 5-year-olds judge worth based on clothing cues. Adults do it in interviews. Sixth, it shames. That day one ultimatum suggests if you haven't started, you've failed morally, not just circumstantially. Seventh, it erases mobility math. Today's young adults have only a 50% chance of outlearning their parents, down from over 90% in the 1940s. Eighth, it ignores the bandwidth tax of poverty. Scarcity can sap the mental focus equivalent of losing 13 IQ points. Ninth, it gaslights biology. Long-term stress from disadvantage reshapes your brains. This isn't about polish, it's about policy. And 10th, it breaks dignity first rules. From UNICEF to humanitarian codes, these guidelines exist to stop exactly this, stripping away humanity for a quick emotional punch. So while the image claims to inspire, it's really just polishing the bars of a mental cage, reinforcing that you are less than until you look a certain way. The truth? Perfection is not the starting line, and you're not broken just because the world tries to hand you a fixer-upper version of yourself. Your value exists now, and that's the part no mirror can take away. And I intentionally had this story before I go into the Sean Combs story. I hope I don't get emotional, because I was emotional before. I hope I don't. I'm going to be trying my best not to. All right. Okay, let's go. So, I was watching the Breakfast Club on YouTube, and it struck my heart. Actually, I was watching the Breakfast Club, and well, the other day I watched a different one. When I was planning this episode, I had the second video I'm going to share with you is by a YouTuber, Conversations with Jay. I saw that video, and it's been just on my mind. Use it for an episode, and I kept delaying, and I was doing different doing different research, gather different content for this episode. But then today, the same conversation with Kans, he started discussing a topic about a Breakfast Club episode that he heard, and I went to hear it for myself because I like to go to the source to hear what they're saying, to get my own perspective. And when I went to get it, I thought, oh my gosh, I have to do this segment today. It's calling me. I have to do it. So I was watching the Breakfast Club this morning on YouTube, and it struck my heart. You know, perfection is often sold to us in tiny, polished frames. It has become such a staple in our conversations these days that it's so subtle. Sometimes we don't even realize that what we're asking of people is perfection, something we ourselves have not mastered, right? We haven't mastered perfection, but it's like we're expecting it in others. You know what I mean? And so I want to go to this clip, and then we're going to talk about it. We're going to listen to it, and then we're going to talk about it. And this clip is courtesy of at Breakfast Club Power 105.1 FM on YouTube.
Morning, starting off in the latest, we're going to have a conversation about Diddy because his attorneys are continuing to have conversations, and what we found out over the weekend was that Diddy wants to become an anti-domestic violence advocate.
Well, if you don't sit his stupid ass down somewhere.
It sounds so dumb.
Boy, his whole team, Bad Boy, not Bad Boy, what's his team called? His lawyers, his staff, record label, and mother effing crew.
Yep. Okay, let's stop right there. That was so demeaning, dehumanizing, disrespectful. I'm not shocked and I'm not surprised, but I'm still alarmed that we dare to disrespect and disregard God's people, because we're all God's people. How dare us believe or think that because someone has gone through a breakdown or is going through a breakdown, and what I call a breakdown, what happened to Sean Combs is a breakdown. The domestic violence was a breakdown. All of these things that are happening, nobody gets up one day and decides, I'm going to be the worst human being. Not even the murderer. Not even the serial murderer. Nobody gets up and decides, I'm going to be the worst form of human being. And that's the first part. Let us start there. There's no such thing as the monstrous human being, or you're just the worst kind of human being, you know? And oh my gosh, I'm going to keep playing because Jay on Conversations with Jay, he said some real important, made some really important notes, you know, because and I want to say this because I didn't say it. I needed to understand in respect of the programs and their discussions, I want to let you know that the clips that I'm sharing are separate clips, and their conversations did not flow this way. I just extract the parts that hit my heart that I wanted to talk about, because he called them stupid. It was so demeaning, and it tells me, sir, that you are in the same. You're in either in the same space Sean Combs is in, or you're beneath him, because at least you can see where he's at. But here you are. Your words are as violent as his actions were, in my opinion. Your words are as violent, and your words are probably even more violent, because when he did what he did, his audience was not as wide as yours. He did not publicize his video We did. The rest of the world did. He did not. But you are sitting on a platform well aware of your audience while you're saying this. What you just said is brutal, it's disrespectful, and it's violent, in my opinion. And it's not fair. It's not right. Because you do not hold moral eliteness or moral superiority over Sean Combs or any of us. You do not. We're all human beings. We're all standing on the same ground and we're all at the same level. Alarming, to say the least. Let's continue.
Retarded.
Bad boy.
Okay.
Well, it don't even make sense. I don't even know. Like after you just keep messing up, you just keep doing stupid stuff.
No,
and keep
defend
doing
them,
stupid
Envy.
stuff.
Ride for him. Defend him
he
like
definitely
do
be he be giving it up for Diddy. Yeah.
Wow. You just keep messing up. That's what we're here to do. Keep messing up. We're gonna see, I don't want to get emotional. Who isn't messing up, DJ Envy? Because you're messing up right now, brother. And I still have to have respect for you. I still have to have understanding with what you're doing, because I don't even know if you know what you're doing. Because today is Sean Combs and tomorrow it's you. And God forbid it's you, because I don't want it to be you. I do not want another. I don't want. Oh God, I want to wake up and not hear that a black man is on the cutting board one day, because it is such a heartbreaking experience. I don't know what our young boys are going through, because it is killing me. It is so traumatizing for me every single day. I have to wake up to the experience of another black man going through something. When they're young, we give them this picture of perfection that they need to get to. And this unrealistic picture of perfection that we give them to achieve, you don't think that shatters who they really are inside and causes them to go down a roller coaster road of just failure and more failure and more failure. And instead of us saying, we see that you broke, we saw that you fell, let me help you up, let me brush your knee off because you fell, we're going to keep falling, DJ Envy, we're going to keep falling. You fall every day, and he's going to fall every day, and it is okay, because there is not one man, not one human being on the face of this earth that's not failing every day. Our failure may not look like his or may not be platformed like his, but it exists, and it hurts no less the people it hurts. And they're laughing like it's funny. This man's life is hanging in the balance. He is in a place. They have put this man at a place based on legal decision, law decisions. And this place that he's at is no more upholding of the law than he was. What is wrong with us? Where they have this man in the legal system, that they have him in the jail that they have him. Have you heard the reports of the state of the place? How is the state of the jail legal? How is that legal? How is that human? How is that fit for humanity? So you say this man is wrong for what he did and place him at a place that performs worse than he did, that's more cruel than he is? More dehumanizing than what we claim he did? I wonder if I'm coming across clear here. It's like we say to someone, you're poison. And so we who don't have poison in us, or we who are in charge of our poison, we are going to be that law over you, to tell you that you are not good enough. And because you're not good enough, you have to be under our control. And when you go into their control, you realize that they are even more poisonous than he was. What Sean Combs did to Cassie, and not just to Cassie, to himself when he attacked Cassie, right? Because Cassie wasn't the only victim that day. Cassie was not the only broken that day. They both were. What they did or what he did does not suffice for, or does not equal the being put in a place that does not uphold the law, even though that's what they are commissioned to do. that treat people less than human, that have people eating food allegedly being infested being not clean, being unclean. All those reports, I've heard of those reports in the news. Yeah. So allegedly, because I didn't see it for myself. But the entire Sean Combs case, if that is what justice looked like, then we may as well let Sean Combs go, because I didn't see the justice. And this is it, right? Justice should appear without impropriety. It should appear. There should be no appearance of impropriety. It was clouded under impropriety. So I don't know who you all think you are to be laughing like this is funny while people's lives are being deteriorated. And we don't hold. Who holds justice? Who holds justice to justice? Who does that? There was a time when the media, for me, because that's what I studied in school, because I admired it so much. There was a time when media was what they called the fourth estate. It was the voice that held those in power accountable. Okay, so you hold Sean accountable because you thought he had more power with Cassie, but he's not the one with the power now. Are you holding those people accountable? Because it should be right across the board that we care. And guess what? Caring about Sean Combs is to care about Sean Combs is to care about Cassie. To care about Sean Combs is to care about your kids. We better be careful how we treat people's stories and their brokenness and their breakdowns, because breakdowns lead to breakthroughs. Let's continue.
I don't be giving up for nobody, first of all, and second of all, they just dumb.
Well, listen. So what Alexandria Shapiro, who's the attorney that spoke to Business Insider, is.
You hear what he just said? I wonder who is he talking to? Is he talking about Sean Combs being dumb? Is he talking about Sean Combs' lawyers being dumb? What is so wrong with this man? I am a fitness vlogger. As you can see, by society's standard, I'm not quote-unquote fit by their standards. Well, you know why I'm a fitness vlogger? I'm a fitness vlogger because when I make the commitment to do it, how did we get here? When I make a commitment, when I do it this way, where I'm committed, where I have viewers who are watching, I have subscribers, so I have an obligation to someone else, it empowers me to keep my word to myself. It empowers me to, I love working out. I love the fitness, but sometimes my humanity steps in and I feel lazy or I don't feel like I want to. But because I have subscribers who sometimes may say, hey, we didn't see any video today or tomorrow, or they'll say, oh, I saw that one. Thank you. That one was so inspiring, blah, 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 blah. That commitment that I've made with them by doing it public, it empowers me in a way, and it inspires me to get up every day and do the work, even when I might not want to. So who is to say that Sean is not the best person to be that kind of advocate, an anti-DV advocate? Because that would be a commitment that will help him hold himself accountable, and that commitment can be a partnership where instead of us just expecting him to be perfect, that partnership, that commitment helps him when he's weak, helps him when he might fall back into old patterns, help him as he works on himself. Who on God's earth says you go and fix yourself and come back? There is no fixing self. We're humans. So he's going to go to some perfection school and they're going to fix him and he's going to come back and he's never going to be human again. He's never going to be flawed again. He's never going to make a mistake again ever in his life. What are we talking about? People, I am far more empowered and inspired when I'm working with someone who I know is just as fallible as me, who I know understand the pain that I go through, people who know how tempted I am to do the thing that I probably should not do. So having Sean Combs do that, I would listen, and I'm not even a DV. I'm not someone who has ever done committed violence against someone, but I've witnessed it and it affects me. It has affected me my entire life because I've witnessed it so much. And what I saw Sean Combs did, what I've experienced from my mother, is 10 times worse than what I've seen Sean do to Cassie. So why are we sitting up here as if we're some moral elite group who have never seen such violence before, when you yourselves are violent with your kids? Possibly, we don't know. Yeah, we have parents violent to kids. We have people out here behaving as though what Sean did to Cassie because somehow somebody died and made Cassie God. And that's not to demean Cassie either, but they were both broken. And they both need to get DV courses or classes. Because lest we forget, sometimes people who have suffered from certain violent, certain experiences sometimes become perpetrators. So she needs her healing too. These two people went through brokenness, but no, we want to say one was a pure, fully 100% victim, and one was a pure, fully 100% monster. What on God's earth? You all need to listen to yourselves, because you know what? The way you're behaving right now is worse than what Sean Combs did on that day to Cassie. At least he was high, reportedly. Come on, people. We've got to do better. We've got to do better.
Saying is that in the future, Diddy wants to work with domestic violence programs. He says that he wants to talk to like other people who are committing these acts and children and just different people to basically say, hey, here's what happened to me, here's what I went through. I don't want y'all to do the same things, make the same wrongs that I did. Basically trying to help people before they get to that point.
Yeah, in the future after you've done the work, I have no problem.
Well done, Sean Combs. God, you make me so proud. I'm so inspired by you. You don't know me, you may never know me, and that's quite fine. But I just want you to know, from the very day I was introduced to you or I heard about you, I've been proud of you since, and I will be proud of you forever. I don't condone, and I don't even want anybody to say this. Don't even come over here with, oh, so you're okay with what he did? Oh, shut up. No, nobody is. Who could be? Who could ever be okay with violence being enacted on another person? But that doesn't mean that he loses his human value. That does not mean he loses his human value. I value this man as a human. I understand that there is brokenness in humanity. I understand that none of us are perfect. My God, why are you behaving as if you don't know? And I know you know. I know you know. I know you know better, because you've made your own mistakes. Your parents have made mistakes. My father was a broken man. Nobody had to tell me he was a broken man because I saw it. And he also told me some of his experiences. And I listened to how people dogged him. Nobody helped him. What do you mean wait until he does work? No, he's ready right now. Judge, you need to release that man. I don't even know why on God's earth they still have that man in lockup. He wasn't charged with DV, so I don't even know why it's coming up. Charge him and then we can talk about it. Why don't we talk about that? Anyway, he is equipped right now because, like I said before, when you make a commitment that's attached to your healing process, I'm not a medical professional, but I'm telling you what works for me. When I know I have something to do and I make it public, or I put out, I make a public commitment, it helps me because I know the public will hold me accountable on days when it's challenging for me to hold myself accountable, or on days when it's challenging for me to do the right thing. This is a daily walk that we're doing. So all these people are telling me, they're perfect right now, so they're the perfect talk show host, they're the perfect this, they're the perfect that, and look at the big mess you're doing right now. But that's okay too. You're not perfect. I don't expect you to be. And because you are doing this right now, let me tell you what your talk show, your behaviors right now is doing for me. It's saying to me, Raquel, you've got to be kinder. You've got to be kinder. It is demonstrating to me that I have more work to do on myself, because I don't want to be you. I don't want to show up like that. I don't want to show up the way you all you four are showing up right now. So I thank you for this breakdown with you that's going to inspire me, that I hope will inspire me to work on myself to become a better person, because I don't want this to be me when someone else is going through hell. This is not how I want to show up. Let's continue.
problem with that. But right now, you need to be a student in those classes, not a teacher. You just lied about this last year.
Well, speaking of Cassie, her attorney, Douglas Wigdor, he spoke to Rolling Stone in response to this story, and he called this utterly preposterous. He says, you know...
Hang on right there. I mean, I apologize for his saying that. You know, Cassie got her 20 million. Sir, I think you're the one that's whatever the word is right now. You just need to sit with your client. Like, sit. He's paid, okay? He's paid. And your response is ridiculous, because if you were someone who is objective and fair, you would sit back and say, you know what, if change is really what we're about, if preventing violence against women is what we're really about, put this man in every circumstance, every space, every position for healing. That's what everybody would be saying. He is already down. Stop kicking. Stop kicking. You got your 20,000, your 20 million, sorry. Cassie was paid, and she never reported this to the police. There is no police report that was released or that we've seen so far or even heard of. You're the one who is preposterous. Whatever. I know the word and I can't even, I mean, the way I'm feeling right now, I can't even. Stop it, sir. Stop it. Because if this was your child, that's not what you'd be saying. Stop it. The man has been in jail, and I think he's been there for longer than he should have been. Unless we forget that your client got immunity. Sir, sit down. But I still thank you for your story. I still thank you that for being so that I can learn, so that we can learn. But my God, audacity.
At this point, or other people in the article, they have sources, they don't name them, but these are alleged victims of Diddy's that are saying that it's manipulation. It's manipulation because he hasn't even fully done the work yet. So to try.
How do you know it's manipulation? How? And after this, I'm going to share 10 common cognitive biases after this. How do we know that this is about manipulation, and why can't he be given the benefit of the doubt? I want to play the entire clip, so I need to stop talking. Let's go.
Try and, create this narrative that you want to go and help people do things that you haven't figured out for yourself yet. It's manipulation and it's disrespectful. And it's almost like I was going to say a slap in the face to the victims, but
absolutely. Well, the judge realizes this is a PR stunt and not genuine rehabilitation. So when the judge doesn't, give him leniency at his sentencing, it's going to be stuff like this. That's the reason why.
Mr. God in all his glory. Do you hear all those assumptions? All those assumptions? Let me ask you watching this right now. Let me ask you this. You're a billionaire. You go through all the embarrassment, the punishment, and everything so far that reportedly Sean has gone through. Would there have been any change in you on day one? Because I'll tell you about me. See? And maybe what these people are telling us is that they would have been manipulating, because that's what they're telling us. You see, we see people, our perspectives are based on who we are. And these people who are commenting are saying, I know I wouldn't have changed. I know that if I did this, it would be manipulation. I know that if I did this, it would have been a PR stunt. And that's how I know that's what he's doing. Well, let me say this. My perspective is very different, because I know from the very moment that video goes out, my entire life would have been changed. I would have been changed forever. The embarrassment, the memory of it. Let's not forget, this did not happen in 2025. It didn't happen in 2024, 2023, 2022, 2021, 2020. That's not when this happened. This happened sometime, I think it's 2016, between 2016 and 2018. Yeah, no, 2016. Because she stayed with him for another 2 years. Reportedly. There is no way Sean Combs have not been impacted by let's forget Cassie and everything. Let's say he's a heartless person. His children are without him. You cannot tell me that this man who made a decision to say, I'm not going to run, I'm going to turn myself in. No grace. But you see, we can't give what we don't have. Let's continue. This other clip that you're going to hear is from Conversations with Jay. And what he said was not in relation to this interview, but I thought it fits so perfectly. So I wanted to share it.
Can we have a little bit of grace, please, as human beings? Can we be allowed to make mistakes and then apologize and change our behavior? Can we be allowed? Please, please, please. Are people allowed to make mistakes? The guy was telling me that we have the ability to be perfect. So I said to him, are people allowed to make mistakes? He said, but you have to repent.
Let me just say this. Let me say this for the world to know. I am imperfect. I will always be imperfect. I have no desire to be perfect. I do not have the capacity to be perfect. I have no dreams of being perfect. I don't want any relationship wherein I have to be perfect. I want no situation where I have to show perfect. I want to be imperfect. I wanna be me, the me who makes mistakes sometimes, because this is what it is, right? It's not a matter of human beings being imperfect. I think as beings, we are perfectly ourselves. I think interacting and navigating this world is where imperfection happens, and I don't even know if imperfection is the correct word, because what it is when I'm interacting with you, for example, Sean Combs was experiencing for him to put hands on Cassie or to have done what he did with Cassie, he first was experiencing something, and he was now having to determine, how do I relate the chaos inside of me? How do I navigate my relationship with her with that chaos inside of me? Clearly the man did not have capacity beyond what he did. What he did was his capacity at the time. And Sean Combs, if you ever hear this, you are wonderfully made. You're an amazing human being, and you did your best even on that day. You did your best even on that day. And I'm going to say this too. Yes, even if you return to such behavior, nothing in your value changes, because before you get to that behavior, you would have been experiencing something, which means you emit pain because you have pain. And in the absence of capacity or knowing what to do, sometimes just to save ourselves, we lash out, we scream, we fight, we exhaust. And I'm saying, it is my hope and my prayer that whatever purpose, divine purpose God had for you and used you for, when he did allow it, because God allowed it. This is the part we keep forgetting. God could have listen to me. I remember I had a business partner, right? And it's so crazy because he and I used to have some serious arguments, okay? And I remember one day, I was so mad at him, and every time in my head, I'm saying, I'm done, I can't do this anymore, I can't be bothered. Those were not the words that came out of my mouth. I'm telling you, I don't know what happened between my brain and the words that came out of my mouth. I kept saying, I think we need to pray. And every time I said things, I'd say, hold on. That's not what I meant to say. Why is that what I'm saying? And every time, until I just say, you know what, I'm done. Let's just pray or fast or something, because what I'm trying to say is not come out. What am I saying this for? And his name is Keith Merritt. At Keith Merritt on YouTube. Go ask him, because I'm not lying. Why am I saying that? I'm saying this to say, if God wanted to prevent that domestic violence act, he would have prevented it. And that God did not prevent it, I want to explore to learn what was he trying to teach us. Maybe exactly what he's demonstrating, the heartlessness, the gracelessness of mankind, the unkind nature of man, perhaps is what he was exposing. Because you see, this is the environment that Sean is in, is his behavior is a reflection of the environment he's in. His behavior is a reflection of the environment he's been in. And all of you is a part of the environment, because I have seen him with my own eyes on video on your platform. On your platform. Why didn't you love him hard enough so he wouldn't be violent? Why didn't you be kind enough to him that whatever pain was inside of him would have been healed so he didn't become violent? Where is the grace? Where is the grace? I have no desire to be perfect. That's not a job I'm willing to. That's not a cross I'm willing to bear.
And I said, of course you have to repent. He goes, do you know what repentance is? And I said, repentance is a 3-step process. Number 1, you recognize your mistake. Number 2, you ask for forgiveness. And number 3, you change your behavior. And he goes, okay, yes, you're right. If somebody does those 3 steps, how are you still putting them in the doghouse? Number 1, recognize they did something wrong. Number 2, they've asked you for forgiveness.
And this is it, right? I remember from the first time when the Instagram post came out, when Sean Combs says he was sorry, he was at a bad place. I accept. Let me tell you how I am with the I'm sorry thing. It is not my place to determine where inside of you that I'm sorry is coming from. If someone says, if they can muster up the courage and the strength to say, I am sorry, it's not my place to downplay it. It's not my place to judge it. It's not my place to reject it. I saw that video. You could see the thing on the man's face. It's like they didn't even want to give him a chance to apologize. My God, he apologized. What more do you want? What do you want? You want him you want him under the jail. One person said, why doesn't he just die? How violent.
Number 3, they've demonstrated that they've changed their behavior. How are they still in a doghouse? How are you putting them under the jail? It doesn't make any sense to me. People say Puff needs to be under the jail, not in jail.
And that he should die. Funky Dineva said, why don't you just go die?
Go back to the fact
or
that
go
this
to
is
jail
a
or something like that effect.
Don't
and I think it was
have the response.
And even in Funky Dineva, I'm not saying this to even hurt you, but because I think what happened is the hate for him was so pungent in the media that people start feeling like, oh my God, I'm sick of this already. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of, just get rid of him. Just do what you want to. I think people's cup overflowed with the pungency of the hate. The media campaign, in my opinion, launched against Sean Combs. And that was worse than the violence he showed, because I'm telling you, God bless this man. You know how I know God is working with Sean Combs? Because what he came under, he could not have withstand it by himself. The storm of hate that came against this man, the war that was launched against him, it was God that kept his 2 feet on the ground. It was God that sustained him. Mighty God.
This ability to give people grace. Let's be real. The only reason why is so we could feel better about ourselves.
You better talk. You better speak.
Give somebody grace.
Moral superiority.
That's the only reason why you don't give somebody the benefit of the doubt. That's the only reason why you try to keep somebody in the doghouse. It's because you want to feel better about the BS that you do. That's all life is.
Yes.
Status. It's the beginning of time. If you want to hold something against somebody else, really, it means you have something within your heart.
I'm better.
You know why?
I'm better than you.
Worst critic, because you know all the sneaky, slimy, crazy, weird, disgusting things that you do.
And that's why you think he's manipulating, because that's what you. That's who you are.
All the stuff that you do is you. So we do it in 2 ways. We put ourselves down. We don't actually advocate for ourselves being number 1 in our lives. And that reason is because we know everything that we do. We're not empathetic to our future selves. And we don't feel like we deserve the greatest. You deserve everything.
You deserve
God put you on the planet, in this world, to go and get it.
Absolutely.
Another way is that we put other people down and don't give them grace because we want to feel up.
Yes.
The kid that got his scholarship and went to university
My
on
God.
Puff's dime to get out of the hood and make a better life for himself, for his family, and have a chance at generational wealth. To show people that it's possible. No, F that. That don't mean nothing. All that matters is the Cassie video.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean a damn thing. That person, him or hers, child, son or daughter, is going to be able to live a better life and break a generational curse. No, we don't care about that. We just care about the video from 10 years ago. That's all we care about. No, but he beat Cassie. Get him under the jail.
You know what I think happened? I think God allowed that video to be sent viral, and what it did was it has us all looking at ourselves. And I think because of that perhaps trauma or that ugliness that this video has forced us to see in ourselves, it's like we want to punish Sean for it. That video, it's like that video reminds us of something that is so ugly and so dark that we hate him for it. We hate that he put up a mirror to our faces. That has to be it. Because for me, I can't understand the hate at all. The man made a mistake. I've seen worse on camera. I saw this other video the other day where this man had a girl in the elevator and just punching her in her face until reportedly she went to the doctor and there were, I think it was nerves damage, bones cracked or something. The report is there. I don't want to misrepresent it. But yeah, when he punched and punched and punched, I mean, he gave that girl, in my estimation, more than 100 punches. How is it that hasn't gone as viral? How is it that I don't hear people calling for him to go under the jail and for him to die and blah, blah, blah? What about that man, the politician from, is it Kazakhstan or something, some place, that for 8 hours or something like that, that had his wife, I think he was at a restaurant, out of a restaurant, and people who were walking by reportedly thought they were just having intimate moments, and he was there, and I saw the video where he was captured, where he beat her to death.
To Kazakhstan now, where a CCTV video has led to uproar across the nation. It shows a former minister beating his wife to death.
This is Kwandaik Bishimbayev, Kazakhstan's former economy minister, a high-profile businessman, a favorite of former President Nazarbayev. He's on trial right now. Why? For beating his wife Sultanat Nukinova to death. Last November, he and Nukinova were at a restaurant. It was owned by one of his relatives. CCTV footage shows him punching her, kicking her, dragging her by the hair. He then dragged her to a separate room. There were no cameras there. And that's where he beat her to death. The assault went on for 8 hours. When it ended, Bishimbayev called his fortune teller. He assured him that his wife was fine. The ambulance arrived, but 12 hours later. By then, Nukinova was dead. Bishimbayev was charged with killing her. For weeks, he maintained his innocence. But when the CCTV footage surfaced, he could no longer do that. He accepted the crime but said he had unintentionally caused her death.
Beat her to death?
A teenager attacked by an officer at the Warren jail is going on the offensive, taking the city to court.
The officer said, "Hurry up and take the picture, you little." And he said, "I ain't no."
Just 14 days after the now viral moment of an officer assaulting a 19-year-old carjacking suspect, a lawsuit has officially been filed against the city of Warren on behalf of Jaquan Smith and Feiger Law.
He's about double the size of him.
The 30-page complaint is now seeking $50 million in damages. Jaquan's aunt Tanisha Banks is just happy he's still here.
The first thing that ran across my mind, did he survive?
The big question is whether or not Jaquan received any injuries in the assault.
He was treated at the hospital for his injuries and he was cleared of no injuries.
He is still, as of this day, having issues with head injuries. He's having headaches, dizziness, nausea.
Either way, the now fired officer Matthew Rodriguez has been charged with misdemeanor assault. It also turns out he has a history of alleged excessive force.
Nobody's talking about that. because Sean Combs is just the devil. And when I hear people exaggerate things like this, I have to say, you know what? God is at play here. God is at play here. So God, help me to do my self-work so I can see the message you're sending me while I'm attached to this story. Man, ugliness.
Do you see how twisted and demented people's minds are? You, the person that thinks like that, he has done more for people than you have.
And he has done more good than he has done
more
bad.
for the community than you have. The first thing they want to do is bury somebody. That's a sickness.
It is a sickness.
Is throw grace out the window and bury them. And when you need grace, or when your loved one needs grace, you are nowhere near burying. You're nowhere near a grave site. Where are you? You're right there trying to protect. Oh, but everybody makes mistakes. Now all of a sudden your tune change. Let him without sin pass the first stone. Is written on my arm right here.
It's true. Let him without sin.
God bless everybody.
Man, thank you for that, Jay. Thank you so much. Indeed. God bless everyone. I want to share this, right? Hi. God, please help me to be a better person. That's all I want. I want to be a better person. I want to be a better human being. I really want to be kinder, more thoughtful. Help me, Lord. Help me. Now, here's a breakdown of 10 common cognitive biases that push people into forming opinions before they've gathered enough facts or insights. Number 1, anchoring bias. Looking onto the first piece of information you hear, the anchor, and letting it overly influence your judgment, even when better evidence appears later. Confirmation bias, actively seeking out, noticing, or believing only the information that supports your pre-existing belief, while ignoring evidence that contradicts it. Number 3, availability heuristic, forming opinions based on the most recent, vivid, or emotionally striking examples that come to mind, not an actual probability or broad evidence. Stereotyping, applying generalized beliefs about a group to individuals without verifying whether those beliefs are true or relevant in that case. Halo effect, letting one positive impression of a person, group, or situation spill over into all judgments about them, even in unrelated areas. Horn effect, the flip side of the halo effect, letting one negative trait or incident unfairly taint all other perceptions of someone or something. Number 7, in-group bias, favoring people, ideas, or opinions from your own group while unfairly dismissing those from outsiders, regardless of the facts. Number 8, hindsight bias, believing after an event that you knew it all along and judging others' decisions as obvious mistakes without recognizing that you didn't have all the facts at the time. Overconfidence bias, believing your own judgment or knowledge is more accurate than it really is, leading you to skip deeper fact-finding. Number 10, attribution error, fundamental attribution error, overemphasizing personal traits and underestimating situational factors when judging others' actions, assuming intent or character flaws before knowing their context. I want to wrap up this segment with this spoken word piece. The myth of perfection. They tell you, be flawless, not good enough, not learning, not human, flawless. A diamond cut and polished, without the mercy of the mind that made you. The myth wears a smile in the daylight, but at night it hammers your chest like unpaid bills. The myth wears a smile in the daylight, but at night, it hammers your chest like unpaid bills. It says one wrong move, and they'll hashtag you into history. Not the kind you want, the kind where your name becomes a trending topic, your mistakes the main course at the digital dinner table. Grace don't go viral. Grace don't sell ad spaces. Grace don't buy someone a penthouse view. But outrage, that's primetime currency. Every slip up is a stock market, and your shame is the blue chip investment in someone else's clicks. We live in a world where people scroll with one hand and sharpen their judgment with the other, where compassion is an unpaid internship and criticism is a corner office with benefits. They expect you to live like the internet is watching, because it is. Expect you to smile through pain, because your pain makes them uncomfortable. Expect you to rise without stumbling, because your stumbles threaten the story they've told themselves about how success works. But here's the truth. Perfection is a prop, a stage light blinding you to the cords, the cracks, the scaffolding in the back. Perfection is a marketing strategy, not a measure of worth. We are allowed to be unfinished, allowed to trip, to grow in public without an applause track, allowed to make a life that is more honest than beautiful and more free than flawless. So keep your grace for yourself. Spend it daily. Let it drip into the cracks of your reflection, because the myth of perfection, it only works if you believe in it. And I'm done believing in cages that look like crowns. Remember, you were born for bold moves. Now go turn pressure into purpose and tell them Coach Raquel sent you. That brings allegedly to a close for today. Let's go to our next segment. I love to open new packages. I want to deliver the latest information on top funding opportunities for entrepreneurs who are seeking funding. Come along with me and Coach Raquel, and this is a passion project for me, so I am so happy to bring this to you. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for watching.
Unlock your potential every Thursday with our podcast, Refresh, Relax, Renew. Join Coach Raquel as she guides you through personal development journeys. Each episode focuses on actionable steps to enhance your personal journey. The podcast features 3 main segments to keep you engaged. We start with discussions on trending topics relevant to your growth. Then we unbox solutions to common challenges we face daily. Finally, stay updated with fresh funding opportunities each week. Tune in every Thursday for new episodes, and see you there.